This is Win News.
Tonight, bail denied following an alleged police assault. Council takes on the challenges of disabled parking. And Townsville touted as a shining star for the government's Northern Australia plan. Good evening. Also tonight, Queensland Health staff told to repay overpayments. But first, an 18-year-old remains in custody after he allegedly punched a police officer in the face. Police were called to Cranbrook after residents complained about intoxicated youths. Meantime, a 32-year-old man accused of assaulting a security guard has been bailed to appear in court later this month. Today, the court heard Beau James Vernon had been at Jupiter's Casino last May when he was approached to leave the venue due to intoxication. Prosecutors allege he became difficult, attempting to place coins in a security guard's shirt and later punching him in the nose. Mr Vernon's lawyer told the court the accused had been under financial stress and on a winning streak when he was asked to leave. The case was adjourned to allow time for comparable sentences to be investigated. People in the northern areas of Townsville are taking to social media to highlight the ongoing battle over disabled parking. It seems to have the desired effect, with one councillor who agrees something needs to be done taking a tour of the problem areas. The Australian Greens have moved a Senate motion calling on the Abbott government to revoke its approval of the Abbott Point coal port expansion. The Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority has raised concerns about what they have deemed to be long-term irreversible damage. Former Queensland Health staff still owe the state government almost $28 million in overpayments following the former Labor government's payroll debacle. Now, department debt collectors are about to start contacting more than 14,000 former workers who were paid more than they were entitled to. Well, Townsville is poised to host an international conference which could see 2,000 stakeholders arrive in the city in June. The delegates will discuss the government's Northern Australia plan and build relations with international neighbours. Magnetic Island locals involved in a solar energy project can now buy the systems. 180 people on the island all took part in the Solar Cities project run by Ergon Energy back in 2007. Now the company is offering to sell them back for a reduced rate, with prices to vary depending on the age of the system. Well, the Queensland Ambulance Service is calling on people living in rural areas to make sure their property numbers can be seen from the road. Every day, the ambulance officers struggle to find homes not clearly numbered. And now it's time for a quick look at the weather with Hannah.
Good evening, Corinne. We do have the chance of showers for the next couple of days, and they are set to increase later this week as well. Now, we do have a strong wind warning in place for the remainder of today. Those winds may be even stronger as we approach the weekend. I'll have more details a little later on.
Thanks, Hannah. We'll see you then. Stay with us after the break. Men in the Mental Health Spotlight, a world-class opera coming to the Burdekin, and Catholic students in the North show their compassion. Welcome back. More people in Australia die from suicide than on the nation's roads. New statistics have revealed, mostly due to the drought, men in remote areas are more likely to commit suicide than those in urban areas. And locals will be treated to an exclusive performance by one of the world's best ballet companies. It's one of 9 regional areas to host a simulcast of the American Ballet Theatre's production of Swan Lake when it comes to Queensland in August. Well, it's enough to get your mouth watering. Pancakes by the dozens were being served up across North Queensland's Catholic schools for Shrove Tuesday. But there's a serious side to the day with the launch of this year's Project Compassion. Mouth-watering, all right. Sport time now with Murph, and our best athletes are acknowledged at the annual awards night.
Absolutely, and Charters Towers hosted the gala event this year, the NQ Sports Awards. I'll tell you about all the winners next, plus Fire Captain Rachel McCulley set to join the elite 300 game club. Paul Green has chosen his first ever NRL squad, naming 19 players for the round 1 clash with Canberra. Ray Thompson has been selected in the run on hooker role to be backed up by utility Rory Kos-Jason. Jason Tamalolo will start alongside Gavin Cooper in the back row. Tarek Sims will begin from the bench. Michael Morgan's performance at fullback in the trial period has been enough to earn him the fullback spot for now. Townsville Fire captain Rachel McCarley will join an elite club in the WNBL this weekend. Sunday's grand final is her 300th game in the league. However, she isn't dwelling on the milestone, with team success coming first. Charters Towers played host to the 23rd Annual North Queensland Sports Awards, which recognise the best of the best from Mackay to Cooktown. Townsville AFL's Maury Saws was the only local winner. He claimed top honours in the service to sport category. To local cricket, and Suburban Parks is in the box seat against Brothers at Stumps on day one of the season's second last two-day match. Elsewhere, Wanderers in a grind with Saints, and Norths are looking the goods against Wests. And there we go. That is a wrap of sport for tonight, Corinne.
Thank you, Murph. Stay with us. Up next, Hannah has the latest weather details.
This report brought to you by Everyone's Delight, Baker's Delight, baking fresh for you every day.
Good evening, everyone. Now, before we check out today's weather, let's take a look back at the summer of 2014. In Townsville, we recorded around 270 millimetres short of the normal summer rain, with 443 millimetres hitting the deck over the last few months. Now, maximum temperatures were also around a degree above normal, and unfortunately, it hasn't only been our area that has been experiencing these hot and dry conditions. In fact, most of Queensland's seen a very hot summer and below average rainfall. Now, it does look like we have got a bit of rain on the way across northern parts of Queensland over the next few days. Later this week in particular, central and southern areas though will continue to remain mostly dry. Rainfall to 9 o'clock this morning, 7 millimetres for Cardwell, 5 for Ingham, less than a millimetre fell around Townsville, and your top today was 30 degrees, 28 for Alba Beach and Ayr, 30 for Charters Towers, and you recorded 2 millimetres of rain. Now, like I mentioned, rainfall is forecast to increase later this week, and that's all thanks to a tropical low that you can see in the northern Coral Sea just to the southwest of the Solomon Islands. Now, that system is forecast to track in a southwesterly or westerly direction over the next couple of days towards the Queensland coastline. By Friday, there is a high chance of that system developing or intensifying into a tropical cyclone, so that's greater than 50% chance. And there is also the potential, and most of the computer models are in agreement, that that system will make coastal impact, if not later this working week, then across the weekend, somewhere around northern Queensland. Now, regardless of if this system stays as a tropical low or intensifies into a cyclone, we're still going to see an increase in rainfall as well as winds as we approach the weekend. So you can see it packing quite a punch out in the Coral Sea, moving towards the Queensland coastline. Like I mentioned, there is the potential that by Friday it will develop into a cyclone. Now, these systems do tend to have a mind of their own, so the exact movement and position or possible coastal impact region is still yet to be decided. I'll have more details over the next couple of days on that. But if we do see that system develop into a tropical cyclone, it will be the 7th cyclone for this season in Australian waters. For tomorrow, we have a partly cloudy day, some showers mostly near the coast. Those east to southeasterlies should reach 30 k's, tending east to northeasterly into the late afternoon and easing back slightly. We have 30 degrees for Ingham and 31 for Townsville, Ayr and Bowen tomorrow. Possible showers and storms for the northern parts of the northern goldfields tomorrow. Those east to southeasterlies should reach 30 k's, and we have high fire danger. Partly cloudy for Charters Towers and 32 degrees tomorrow. For the boaties, southeasterlies at 20 to 30 knots, seas up to around 2.5 metres. We have low tide for Townsville around 6:30 into the afternoon, just after 6 p.m. for Lucinda, and high tide will be around 11:30 in the morning. And the sun is setting in Townsville at 6:36. So a few showers on the way Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, possibly increasing over the weekend with the chance of storms and becoming windy as well. But of course, I'll have more details over the next couple of days on that tropical low and potential for the cyclone later this week. Now it's back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you also for your company. That's Win News for this Tuesday.
Don't forget, though, you can follow us on both Facebook and Twitter. Enjoy your evening on behalf of all the team. Good night.
Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation from Win, Australia's #1 regional television network.